Hey y'all, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Vlogmas. Today is day 14. We've got the daily Advent devotional, the daily Advent calendar openings, and the content of this video, which is going to be talking about all the new authors I read in 2023. Did I meet my goals? We'll see. And the new authors I want to read in 2024. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright y'all, so like every video for Vlogmas, the playlist is below. If you missed any, honey, I got you covered. There is a playlist, okay? Also, if you want to check out last year's, if you're new to the channel, got 12 videos from last year that I did, so we love to see it. But this year we're doing 24 videos, and today's day 14, and just like with every video, we have timestamps below. So if you want to flip around, skip around, whatever, that's totally fine. The timestamps are below for each section of the video, but my tried and true people, I know y'all watching. Okay, we love to see it. I'd love the comments we'll be getting. So, hey, we here. Let's get into this. So, today we're going to start part 3 of our devotional, okay? And it says the prophecy, girl, the people of Christmas. Okay, filming this on a weekday, so we'll see how this goes. But the people of Christmas. We just finished up the prophecies of Christmas, and now we're going to go into the people of Christmas. And today, and I haven't read it yet, so I may be surprised too. We'll see how this goes. But the people of Christmas, and today we're talking all about the Maccabees. Oh, before I start, I should say, if you didn't know, we are currently reading out of Star of Wonder, an Advent devotional to illuminate the people, places, and purpose of the first Christmas by Angela Hunt. It's always linked below in every video if you want to check it out. Some comments that said it was on Hoopla, all that stuff too, so check your libraries, all that good stuff. But if you're just here for the ride, we're going to read it. So let's go. I may skip around just a little bit, but we're going to be here with the highlights of the devotional, okay? So, the Maccabees. As Christian families shop and decorate their Christmas trees, observant Jewish families place menorahs in their homes and prepare for the celebration of Hanukkah. Do Hanukkah and Christmas have a connection? They do, for without Hanukkah and the work of God, we would not have Christmas. Jesus celebrated Hanukkah. Then came Hanukkah. It was winter in Jerusalem. Yeshua was walking in the temple around Solomon's colonnade. Then the Judean leaders surrounded him, saying, "How long will you hold us in suspense? If you are the Messiah, tell us outright." Yeshua answered them, "I told you, but you don't believe." John 10:22-25. Hanukkah, also known as the Feast of Dedication, honors a series of battles that took place during the 400 silent years between the end of the Old Testament and the beginning of the New. Hanukkah would not exist but for a group of brothers who came to be known as the Maccabees. I know nothing about this, y'all, so this is very interesting to me, so let's go. After the Jews returned from Babylon exile, they rebuilt the walls of Jerusalem under Nehemiah. Not all the Jews returned to Israel. Many remained in the east, including Daniel, Esther, Mordecai, while others settled along the Mediterranean Sea. A large number moved to Egypt. Daniel had prophesied about the world events that soon began to occur. First, the kingdom of Babylon fell. Daniel served Cyrus, king of Persia, and later Esther would marry, I don't know this name, but one of his successors. In 323 BC, Alexander the Great conquered the Persian Empire. Shortly thereafter, at age 32, Alexander died and his generals divided his massive kingdom. Again, I don't know the name. Seleucus. We're going with that. He took charge of the land of Israel and his successors governed with a heavy hand. Another name I don't know. Antiochus.
I don't know the names. Oh my gosh, y'all.
Whoever reigned. This guy who reigned. I can't say the names. Antiochus Epiphanes. I can't say the names, but we're here. He reigned from 175 to 164 BC. Invaded Jerusalem, desecrated the temple by sacrificing a pig on the holy altar, and declared that anyone who observed the law of Moses would be put to death. To force the Jews to assimilate into Greek culture, he enacted draconian measures. Apparently, he did not realize or care that the Jews were meant to be a separate and unique people. The devout Jews were greatly troubled by the eagerness of other Jews to conform to the Greek lifestyle. This group, who adopted the clothing, philosophies, and language of the Greeks, were also known as Hellenists. In words, I don't know. Pronunciation struggles, okay? Righteous Jews left Jerusalem and retreated to farming communities. The king's representatives visited these settlements and conducted loyalty tests. Those who would not offer sacrifice to Greek gods were executed. In Jerusalem, leading citizens were tested in more subtle ways. At one banquet, the host served pork, and those who refused to eat it were arrested, tortured, and killed. If not for the miracle that Hanukkah commemorates, the religious distinctiveness of the Jewish people would have been obliterated. One family decided to worship the true God alone, no matter what the cost. When two officials came to their small town and demanded that Matthias ben Jehonan, a Levite, make an offer to a pagan god, Matthias killed the king's representatives. His 5 sons took up the cause of righteousness, and the strongest of them, Judah Maccabees, put out a call for men who would fight for freedom to worship God. With God's help, Judah and his brother took a group of untrained farmers and created a guerrilla army. After months of fighting, they defeated a highly trained military force, complete with battle elephants. Judah's men recaptured the city of Jerusalem. They went to the Temple Mount and hauled out every stone that could have been defiled by the invaders. Once that task was complete, they rebuilt and rededicated the temple, held a feast, and decreed that the annual feast of dedication should be observed so no one would forget how God preserved his people. What then does Hanukkah have to do with Christmas? During the subsequent period of Hasmonean rule, religious divisions among the Jews deepened. The Pharisees objected to the ruling Hasmoneans, who became Sadducees, because the Hasmonean high priests were descendants of Matthias' family and not from the line of Aaron. The wealthy and influential Sadducees didn't want to share their power, so they plotted against the Pharisees. The Essenes, I'm not saying it right, but Essenes, sick of the turmoil, retreated into the wilderness and prayed desperately for the arrival of the promising Messiah. As religious divisions deepened with each passing year, the ordinary people of Jerusalem, most of whom were neither Pharisee or Sadducee, longed for deliverance from bloodshed and deprivation. By the time the Romans declared Judea a Roman province, messianic yearnings had reached a fever pitch. As the 400 silent years drew to a close, never had the people of Israel been more ready to welcome their promised deliverer. Just as God heard their cries when they were enslaved in Egypt, he heard their cries under this oppression and Roman occupation. He sent a deliverer, but not the one they expected. Oh, that gave me chills, that last sentence. Okay, so, a little bit longer. I pretty much read the whole thing. So, I hadn't always done that, but we did. So, very interesting, because it's very historical here, and I don't know a lot about this. So, moment for wonder. When I consider the civilized world at the time of Jesus' birth, I can't help but think of our world today. Amen, honey. Divisions among people have never been more pronounced. Yep. Despite our technological advances and the wealth of knowledge at our fingertips, our societies are crumbling. Families are fractured, and the wisdom we inherited from our forefathers has been questioned or turned on its head. We don't trust politics, news reporters, because of the truth shifts with every cultural breeze. Believers are often looked at with skepticism or outright loathing because we believe God's word is not outdated and his standards don't change. People question our loyalties when our convictions conflict with cultural opinions or government regulations. We find ourselves in situations just like the Jews in Hellenistic Judah. I don't know that word, but people of public opinion will say, I don't know that word. They don't understand why we can't adapt our convictions to support our beliefs. Our situation is not as dire as that faced by the people of Israel under this oppression, but the clock is ticking and hope is born of suffering. We wait, looking towards the sky, because our Messiah is coming again. Woo! Again, chills. Yes, ma'am. We are here. I'm telling you, we have to end, my honey. The Lord, he gonna be coming. I'm telling you. So here's our prayer. Father, you said the world would grow dark in the last days. The scoffers would come, that people will be lovers of self, lovers of mercy, boastful, arrogant, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, ungrateful, unholy, hard-hearted, unforgiving, backbiting, without self-control, brutal, hating what is good, treacherous, reckless, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, holding to an outward form of godliness but denying its power. Yet you sent the light of the world into such darkness, and he shone so brightly that our world was forever changed. Help us reflect that light in our corrupted society and remind us that we carry his glory within us to illuminate dark places. Give us courage and help us to hold fast the truth of your word. Remind us that as long as the light shines, darkness will not and cannot prevail. Y'all, amen. Oh my gosh, amen. So many amens to that. Wow, she really tied that in with what's going on today, did she not? Very, very interesting. I didn't know anything about the Maccabees, didn't. And that was very interesting to learn about. And then to tie that back into everything that's going on in our world today, honey, y'all already know I don't need to say. Like, just turn the news on. We see it. But you know, again, the Lord, this is not a surprise, okay, to the Lord. I mean, he knew this would happen. It says in his word that these things would happen, right? Just like she said, lovers of self, money, boastful, arrogant, all that stuff. People would turn on each other, all that stuff. Read Matthew 24, we hear. But, again, the light of the world, he overtakes the darkness. He overcomes it. And, honey, ain't we so glad we got him? Ain't we so glad we got a Savior who overcomes darkness? Amen. Can I get an amen, honey? Yes. I'm sorry. Oh, my gosh. Love that so much. So, yeah, boy, I went over today on my time. I try to keep us under 10 minutes, but we had 13. So, yeah, I did kind of a little bit because I kind of, like, didn't know some of the words, and I, like, stumbled for a whole minute. But we here. So, I hope you enjoyed this devotional. A lot of y'all are saying you enjoying the readings. So, yeah, it's so great. And tomorrow we will talk all about Zechariah. So, let's get on to the Advent calendar openings. With day 14, and here we are. 14 is right here.
We know that's a bookmark.
It better
I'm
be.
so excited to see it because
It
it looks like a bookmark.
It better not be nothing weird.
It's got to be a bookmark, right?
At least put like something good on it.
All right, here it is. It's got to be a bookmark. Come on. The suspense. Oh, what is it? What is it? Is that a bookmark?
Yes.
Oh, dude.
This is a good bookmark.
Oh, wow. This is like
I love
the
it.
quality, guys. The
Here,
quality.
get close.
The quality. Surely you guys can see that, but check
If
that
not,
out.
if it don't come out, I'll put a picture of
I'll
it.
let it focus because I can't tell from here.
Isn't that good?
That looks good. Dude, Hogwarts.
It's like a good
This
quality.
is cute. It says Hogwarts Library. Guys, this is a W. So as, apart from the ornament, I think this is probably the best item in here.
Yeah.
Especially since Amanda's a book nerd, so.
You know I'll be using
Good,
this.
oh, that's a good one.
I need to read it.
I like that,
6
though.
and 7.
Definitely have it hanging out of one of the Harry Potter books.
Yeah.
That's cool.
All right.
Hogwarts Library. I like that.
All right.
And it's got Hedwig. It doesn't have anybody weird.
That's
like
cute.
Dobby or anything on it. So that's
And
cool.
I do like Dobby, but
I told you guys, I called it. Bookmark. We got it. Okay, now my
look at the
turn.
hubs.
It looks like maybe another card pack. It's kind of big. Let's see.
You're getting a lot of cards. I wish you got something different.
Oh, another pack.
I wish it was like some different things.
You do. I got a keychain. Remember, I did get a few little things, but it's, you know, it's...
The stickers. You got stickers.
Okay,
too.
another fun pack, guys. I know you're excited. So it's Paldea Evolved. So this is the newer...
Paldea.
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 Paldea Evolved.
Paldea.
Paldea.
It says that in there, Paldea.
Anyways, so you got Fuecoco, Sprigatito, and Quaxley. I do know these guys.
Quaxley's cute.
Yeah, only because
Quaxley's
I'm...
cute.
Yeah, the
so
other
if you
ones.
didn't know, Quaxley is a cute little duck Pokemon, and I think he's cute.
If I get one out of here, Amanda can show you up close.
Yeah, he's cute.
Okay. Yeah, I don't even need scissors on these. These are actually easy to open, so we're good. Okay. All right. First off, we got Slack Off. He's a sloth.
That's cute.
He is chilling, man. He is chilling.
He's wore out. Bless his
Oh,
heart.
okay. We got Clavel trainer card. We got Whooper.
I don't know about that.
I don't know Whooper. And then Clavel, he's a trainer card. Supporter trainer card.
So you only get 3 out of that?
Yeah, the fun packs you only get 3. The other ones you actually get a whole deck or actual.
Well, I mean, you building your collection, so that's good.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, that's
Hey,
cool.
this bookmark.
That bookmark's a W, especially it's blue and gold.
It's legit.
We got gold accents. We love gold, guys.
Yeah.
Gold accents on that. That's good. That's actually good, like, good wood. Is that wood or like plastic?
No, it's
like
I don't know that. If you didn't ask me, I'd know. It's that just thicker material. It's like a leather, fake leather.
Yeah, it's like a fake leather.
That's it.
But that's really cool.
Love it.
And it's got Hedwig on it. We all love him. He's cool. Anyways.
And it's a green Hedwig's
So-
a girl.
I think it's a boy.
I thought Hedwig's a girl.
No, I'm pretty sure Hedwig sounds like a boy.
We're gonna look that up.
Hedwig, yeah. We'll be back.
I'm
gonna say- yeah.
Look it up right now. Look it up.
Okay.
While we're here, let's look it up while we have the people here. I'm pretty sure Hedwig is a girl.
Let me look, because I had Hedwig gender. Oh, she's a female, but in the movie, the actors playing her are males. Okay, so Hedwig.
Who's playing Hedwig?
I guess making the sounds of Hedwig.
I'm just saying, who's playing Hedwig?
Okay, Amanda was right. I thought it was Hedwig was a boy. How do you know it was a girl?
I read the books, the first few.
Oh,
first
okay.
several.
See, she knows more than I do. All right, well, that's cool.
That's your daily lesson of the day and the advent of the day.
If you didn't know, you know. Now you learn something new every day. So.
Yeah. All right, so we'll be back tomorrow with day 15.
All right, cool. That was cool. That bookmark. See if it focused at all. I'm curious. I went right up
All right, y'all, so we're at day 14, and I'm super excited because we're going to talk all about the new authors that I wanted to read this year. Did I get the goal done? Okay, so I'm going to have a whole video on goals and all this other stuff. But I did a video this year, talking about the authors I wanted to read this year. Got the list down of the new authors I wanted to read this year. We're going to go through them. I'm going to show the books that I read this year. Might talk briefly, we'll see. Then I'm going to show more so in my reading journal. I'm going to set it up here and kind of go through each month and say, was that a new additional author? Because it was a lot easier than trying to bring out every new author I read this year. I read so many new authors this year. It was crazy. And so, yeah, we're going to do that. And then we'll talk about my whole stack of 2024 authors that I want to read. So, without further ado, because this may be lengthy, let's go. So, the first author that I said I wanted to read this year was Colleen Coble. And I accomplished that by reading the whole trilogy of the Annie Peterson trilogy, and I'm so excited that I got through that. 3 books, y'all. I binge read the first 2 on audio. They were great. Great recommendation from Oshina, and they were just top tier for me. It's like a good 4 to 5 star series. So great. Good Christian romantic suspense. Keeps you on the edge of your seat, all that stuff. And then book 3 came out in the summer. Listen to it, Break of Day. So yeah, I loved it so much. So Edge of Dusk, Dark of Night, and Break of Day. All 3 books in the Annie Peterson trilogy. They have lots of family tea in this, and you are not going to regret reading these because there's a lot going on here. So yeah, such a great series. Loved it so much. And I talked a lot about it on my channel this year. So I was so glad to read 3 books by Colleen Coble. And I want to read more by her. So she has a new book coming out in January that I talked about in my most anticipated releases. And I'm definitely going to be reading that. I actually just got the audio on NetGalley. Fired up. You know I'm going to be listening to it. You give me an audio on NetGalley, I'm going to be here for it. Okay, that's not really stressful for me because I can listen. Okay, so we love to see it. So anyway, it's called Fragile Designs. I think it comes out in January. So anyway, so the next author I wanted to read was Nancy Mail, okay? So I do own her books, okay? I actually have another one I need to read this year. Let's see if I can grab it without spilling all the books because if you didn't know, my shelves are in disarray. I'm trying to get the bookshelf tour situated, okay? My whole house is crazy, but we here. So Nancy Mel, I've talked a lot about her lately, so I'm not going to like rehash a lot of the things with this, but I will say she has become a new favorite author for me. I didn't talk about this yet, but I did finish reading book 2 in the Quantico Files, and it's called Deadfall. Book 1 is Nightfall. So I've buddy read both of these books with my friend Teresa. Her Instagram is My Cozy Reading Life, and I love her so much. She's great. And we just had so much fun chatting about these 2 books, and we're going to read book 3 in January, so look at us. We are going to be Nancy Mel buddy reads, okay? Great suspense author. I feel like there's going to be a little touch of romance sometimes in her books, but it's very, very light. It's mostly suspense. She has that kind of creep factor that's like, do I read her past 8 p.m.? But book 2, I was fine with. I didn't have any issues like reading after 8 p.m. So, yeah, I guess maybe it just depends on the book. Definitely Cobra Sea. You want to hold it. Same with Nightfall, I think. But then this one, I wasn't too bad with it. So, yeah, I do have Mind Games also on my list, okay? And so, yeah, really excited about reading this author and picking up more of her books. Got a lot of good Christian faith elements in her series. Love that. So, yeah, highly, highly recommend her. She's great. So, yeah, she was a new author that I wanted to read this year. And then I ended up getting 3 of her books read. What you say, honey? Look at this. We love to see it. Okay, where am I going to put these books? All right, next is Amanda Dykes. And okay, so I do recommend this book for those that really love a good historical fiction story that's like very like atmospheric and lyrical writing. I don't even know how to explain it. Very almost poetic writing, okay? It honestly kind of goes over my head a lot. So I did end up reading.
What is it? What's it called?
Set the Stars Alight. Yes, I did end up reading that. I gave it 3.5 stars, but there's a lot of that I didn't understand. And so I don't own it. It was just an audio book. I think that might have been part of my problem, but I do own 2 of her books. And I haven't been inclined to pick them up, y'all. Ugh, a lot of y'all have said the same thing as me. And I think she writes beautiful. But I think a lot of times it goes over my head. It's almost too historical for me, so I don't really know. But I do want to try the ones I own. And if I don't read them, I just need to get rid of them. So I got to decide that. But we here. So I did end up reading one of her books this year, so at least I did that. And I can kind of decide where I go from here, okay? So she is a Christian author as well. So the next author on the list here is Christy Cambron, and I did read one of her books. Love it. The Italian Ballerina. I gave this, was it 3.5 or 4? 4. I think it was 4. I don't even know what I gave this. Okay, whatever. It was great. I think I gave it 4. So maybe even 4.5. I honestly don't remember. But there were some parts that dragged for me with this. It's very historical, so I was having a bit of trouble with the point of views, and especially at the beginning. So maybe I did just give it 4. But a lot of y'all would like this. This is a World War II, Rome, 1943, and in present day. I've talked about this before on my channel, but I ended up really enjoying it. So I want to read more of her books in the future to see if I would really, really like her. Right now, she's not like high up on the priority list, but I still really have enjoyed her books. And I recommend them in general for general historical fiction. So yeah, this one made me cry too as well, because the ending was like, oh my gosh, no. But it was so emotional at the end. So yeah, glad I finished reading her. Next on my list is Colleen Cassette, and I was so glad. Hey, I checked this one off the list too. I read 2 of her books this year, and that was Out from Egypt to book 1, Counted with the Stars. Loved it, gave it 5 stars. And then Voice of the Ancient, this one was book 1 in the King's Men series, and I gave it 4 stars. So I enjoy her writing. She writes biblical fiction. She's definitely an author to look out for. I think definitely both of these are biblical settings, but not biblical characters, which I couldn't remember, but there is like Moses mentioned in here once. This is like a out from Egypt. You know, you see all like everything in Exodus with Moses and everything, and like the Egyptians and everything there. So yeah, in this one, you see Moses a little bit. I didn't remember that. Very brief. So for the most part, these are not biblical figures, Bible times setting with fictional characters. So yeah, I really like Colleen. I need to read more of her books. She packs an emotional punch. And I would say that this one was definitely more for me than this one, but they're both really good, okay? This one leaned a bit more YA than this one did, but still great, still great. Y'all know what I'm about to say. Laura France. Okay. I read 2 of her books this year as well, and for the first time. And so first I read The Rose and the Thistle in January, and I've talked a lot about that. I'm so sorry I repeated a lot of books in my winter book recs, y'all. I know it was like soon after like a lot of things I talked about already. I was like, I'm already repeating this. But we here, so if you didn't watch both of them, that's fine. But I felt bad because I was like rewatching it back, and I was like, I repeated myself a lot, but it's okay. That's what we're here for, to just remind you of all the books we love. And the Rose and Thistles one I talked about a lot lately, so I'm not gonna get into it, but definitely if you love Scotland, this is a great Scotland slow burn historical romance, very historical leaning, okay? And then I read this one, About Heart, also a Scottish setting. But so yeah, I really enjoyed both her books, and I want to read her newest. It's coming out in January. It's on my list to read in the next month. I don't know when I'll get to it, if it's in December or next year. I'm gonna say, yeah, I didn't read next year or in January, but I'm definitely gonna get to it. Next on my list, I wanted to read Melissa Tagg, and I did. So, Autumn of the Sea. I love this book. I think I gave it 4 to 4.5 stars. Loved it. And I'm dying to read book 2. I've been saying that. I'm going to get to it, okay? Book 2. It's on my TBR cart, okay? It's going to happen in 2024, I promise you. So, yeah, I absolutely love this series. Great Christian romance author, and this book just feels like home, and very great characters, family characters, all this stuff. So good. Next I wanted to read Sarah Ella, and I did get it, girl. Look at me. I was like, look, I do have some I didn't read. So we'll get there. But Sarah Ella, I did read The Wonderland Trials. Really enjoyed it. Great Alice in Wonderland retelling, reimagining, whatever. Inspired. Okay. I don't know that this is a retelling. What am I saying? But it's more of a reimagining, just different world. Very inspired, whatever. So, yeah, if you love Alice in Wonderland, this is definitely one for you. It's a Christian YA fantasy. Next on the list was Ted Dekker, and I didn't get there. So, there's what I didn't get to. I couldn't find it. Oh, see, I'm about to spill out stuff. Here it is. I got book 2 and 3. I think book 1 somewhere. Obviously, I have that. And They Found Dragons, the series here. I didn't get to it. That was on my 23 and 2023. Spoiler alert, I didn't read it. At some point, I will get to him, but moving on. He is a Christian author as well, and I think when I do get to him, it's going to be these. So I just hadn't. Maybe I can read those in middle grade March. We'll see. Then the next one on my list was Lisa T. Berggren, and she writes Christian historical romance, I want to say. It's a historical fiction, but there was romance in this for sure. So this is Keturah. Keturah is what I was calling it, but the audiobook was saying Keturah. Oh my god! I did end up reading this, and I've got books 2 and 3 in the series. Wherever they are, honey, I don't even know. Oh, they're sitting up here. Selah and Verity is the next other books in the series. So this is kind of like the Caribbean, what was it? West Indies. Caribbean, that kind of stuff. And lots of family stuff going on. Book 1 in the Sugar Baron's Daughters series. Love the cover, okay? So, yeah, I ended up really enjoying this. I gave it 4 stars, I think. So, yeah, I'm glad I read that. Hopefully I can get to the next ones in the series at some point. And then we have got Elizabeth Camden. That didn't happen. So, she is going back on my 2024 list, okay? Carved in stone. Yeah, maybe I can get to it. So, it didn't happen. That was also on the list. Didn't happen. So, yeah, I don't know what happened. I have the whole series, by the way, of this. Look. Both of these right here. All 3 I own. I ain't picked it up. So, sorry about that. So, I will at some point. Now, the next author was Stephanie Lansom. And let me just say, In a Far Off Land, I talked about this recently. Loved it. Gave it 4.5 stars. It's really close to 5 stars. If it would have had a little bit more of the faith element for our main girl, I would have probably given it 5 stars. Very, very close. So, prodigal daughter story. That's all we need to know. Love this. And I love the covers. That 20s Hollywood story. Prodigal daughter. I was here for it. So, really great. And I do have another book by her called The Well. Probably about the woman at the well. It's somewhere. I don't know where, but I got it. So, I plan to read that at some point as well. Now, the next author I have is Victoria Lynn, and I did not read her, but she's on Instagram and has a lot of great reels and posts about clean books and all these good things. So I love what she's doing in our community, and so I had bought her book. She's part of, or started this, I think, Glory Writers Press. So that's her own, like, publishing company. But this is like a fantasy story, and I really need to get to it. I've heard it's really good. I think book 2's already out. I need to get to it. So I may add her back on my list. I don't know. At some point I want to get to it. So yeah, it sounds good. Kingsman, Countries, Thrones, all that stuff. Maybe kind of like that medieval type fantasy story. I'm here for that. That's one of my favorites. So, but it's Christian, so we love that. Next on the list, we had Ellery Adams, and she writes cozy mysteries. And so this was a recommendation from Chrissy, from Chrissy's Purple Library. And this is book 1 in the Book Retreat Mystery Series. And I enjoyed this. I think I gave it 3.5 to 4 stars. I can't remember, but I still really enjoyed it. I want to pick up more of her books. It's just a really great, maybe I give it 4 stars. See, I can't remember. We'll see here in my little book journal here in a little bit. This is a really great bookish, cozy mystery because the setting was like all bookish. I think it was at Storyton Hall. Yeah, catering to book lovers who want to get away from it all. It was like a bookish murder, mayhem, scavenger hunt, somebody ends up dead, that kind of stuff. So there was a prize. Yeah, like a valuable prize was missing. Book prize, whatever. Really good. So I want to read more of her books. I own several others in this series as well. So hopefully I get to that. I ain't read a cozy mystery in a little bit. I need to get back to it, y'all. Next on my list was Amanda Flower. So speaking of cozies, Salted Caramel was one that I read. I do have another one by her. I can't remember the name of it, but I have at least 1 or 2 other books by her that I want to read. Salted Caramel's the first in an Amish candy shop mystery series. And it was just the most precious little story. Had this sweet grandparents, okay, in this. We love to see it. A little Amish family, Amish grandparents. And there's talks about God and everything faith related. A cute, clean, cozy mystery I loved. So, yeah, this is definitely one of my cozy mystery book recommendations video. I will link it below if you've not seen it. But I want to continue on in this series. Definitely. There's a lot of books in that series. Next on my list is Karina Moss, and I think it was like Cheddar Off Dead or something's what it's called. So hopefully I can get to that. I do own that, but I have the audiobook as well. So again, just another cozy mystery I have not gotten to yet. Same thing with Ellie Alexander. I think she writes bookish bake shop mysteries. I'll put some pictures on the screen and some of these that they're sitting over there. I just didn't want to go over there and grab them. Really want to dive into those as well because there's a lot in that series. I own at least the first 3 or 4 in that series, so hopefully I can get to that next year. Speaking of cozy mysteries, while we're here, let's go ahead and say I did want to read Paige Shelton, and I did, so I was glad I read the first 2 in this series. I liked book 1 a lot better than the next one, so I don't know if I'm going to continue on or not, but this was a Scottish bookshop mystery, and I really enjoyed the first one. Second one, not so much. So we'll see how this progresses. If I ever pick it up, it may be on a whim, but I really like the first one. So glad I read her. It's fun to kind of get into new cozy mystery authors to kind of see the ones that you would enjoy. Another one was Tamara Berry, and she wrote Buried in a Good Book. I gave it 3 stars, 3.5. Audiobook is how I listened, and I've heard that the audio is like just trash, and that's why I probably didn't have a good time reading it. I did love the narrator. I don't know, I just couldn't connect, and I think the narrator's the problem. So I might pick this up again in the future. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Author that I said I wanted to read this year was Lynette Easton. I have already, this is kind of like honorable mention in a way because I've read novellas by Lynette Easton, Natalie Walters, and Lynn Blackburn. And those are 3 authors on my list where I want to read their full books, okay? Not just the novellas. So I did not get to either of them. So Natalie Walters, December. Maybe I could say I did by the end of the month, right? Because that is our book club pick, and I'm definitely reading it. Better Watch Out, which is right here, right? So today I'm filming this on day 7 of Vlogmas, so December 7th. And yeah, Better Watch Out is one I want to read by Natalie. So hopefully I can at least check her off right by end of December if I can make sure to get to that because I'm dying to read it, right? But those other ladies I have not gotten to yet. So hopefully I can. I said Lynette Easton, I own like a whole series by her. I'm crazy. I haven't even read it. So yeah, we'll get there. And Elizabeth Goddard was also on the list. I ended up reading her. What was it? It was some Alaskan, I honestly don't remember the name of it. I'll put the picture on the screen, but it was something set in Alaska. I couldn't even tell you. I just didn't love it. You know, I was not connected at all with the characters. I do own like 2 or 3 books by her on my shelves, Elizabeth Goddard, so I'm still going to try her out. I think that where I listened to the audio of this one is why I wasn't so connected again, because the narrator wasn't that great. So hopefully I can, you know, dive into more of her books because I've heard they're pretty good. So yeah, another romantic suspense Christian author. So then I've got Irene Hannon. I don't know if she's gonna be for me. We had like a book club pick of hers this year or last year one. I can't remember. Maybe it was this year. Whatever. I ended up just selling it on Pango Books. I think I've sold it. If not, it's out there. I don't know if I did or not. I know I listed it, and it was like I'd heard from all my friends that the book was average, that people I trusted, and she had a lot of like just politics and stuff that I was like, I didn't want to read about that. So I ended up just not reading it. But if there's an Irene Hannon series or book that you think I would love, let me know. I haven't sworn her off either. It's just like I wasn't interested in that one book. I can't remember if it's like Point of Danger or something. I can't remember the name. So yeah, that's the kind of the wrap up on the authors I wanted to read this year. I want to talk about authors I read this year that were not necessarily on my list earlier in the year in January, but they were new authors to me. So let's do a little bit of a different setup here to show you that. Okay, so this is the best way I know how to do it, and I'm gonna grab like a pen or something so I can like point it out. But okay, so for January, Amy Clipston, she was a new author to me. Ended up not loving that. Something Old, Something New, gave it 3 stars. Tom Felton was new, where I read his nonfiction memoir. Enjoyed that, gave it 4 stars. And I think Tracy Hall, I think she was new. Didn't really care for her book, honestly. It was like 3.5. It was alright, but then like the more I read them, I ended up DNFing it at the end, so I would not really recommend the whole series. First book was fine, but the rest of it was not that great. And then Left Behind, yeah, these were new as well. So, Tim LaHaye and J.B. Jenkins, they were, and I absolutely have loved the series so far. I need to continue on. And then there's that Amanda Docks book I was talking about that I read. So that was kind of my January reading and the new ones to me. All right. So in February, Jules Verne, Around the World in 80 Days. He was new. Enjoyed that. It's a classic. Richard Osman, new. 3.5 stars for the Thursday Murder Club. Hobb, Assassin's Apprentice, got it done. She was new and really excited to dive back into Fitz in 2024. Kind of like I said in my reading goals video. And of course, Sarah Ella, there she is. See, Sarah Adams was new for me this year. When in Rome, and the cheat sheet was in March. So checked her off. I don't think I'm going to read her new stuff anymore. Kind of like I said in my Clean Rex video, but definitely going to be reading some more of her backlist if I can tell they're clean. Daughter of Eden by Jill Eileen Smith. That was a story all about Eve and everything. I think I gave it 4 stars at the time. Looking back, it probably is more like a 3.5. Especially now that I've sat with it and heard some more opinions about it. I definitely can see more what others are saying about that. So I enjoyed it, but I had some mixed feelings about a lot of the way they handled some of the stuff. So, but yeah, Jill Eileen Smith is definitely an author. I'd like to read other books by her. Christiane Hunter, she was new for me this year, where I started reading her Hawthorne House series. And Honest June, Tina Wells. Those are some middle grade. Middle grade has a lot of new authors to me because I don't read a ton of middle grade. So we had Honest June, A Kind of Spark by Elle McNichol. Forget Me Not, Ellie Terry. I didn't really care for that. Boy Called Bat by Elena Arnold was new. Focused, Allison Gerber. Really liked it. I ended up buying me a copy of it. There's That Buried in a Good Book. Okay, so I gave it 3 stars. Okay, I couldn't remember. And then Aggie Morton, Mystery Queen. Martha Jocelyn. I can't see her name there. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. So, Lands of Luxury by John Tilton. He was a new author for me as well. And, of course, then here we go. We got the back-to-back Colleen Coble, right? So, love that. What is this, like a wrap-up of everything I read this year? I mean, come on. All right, now we're going to, this couple videos will be so long, my bad. So, then we have got there's that Elizabeth Goddard book, April Reads, Cold Light of Day, that's what it was called. I ended up giving it 3 stars, I guess, so didn't really care for it, so maybe I'll pick up other books by her in the future as well. Katie Ganchert was new for me this year, J.L. Knight was new, Resistance and the Art of Losing Yourself, just loved both of those books. And then Fierce Marriage by, I can't remember, Frederick. This was a nonfiction read I read. Gabrielle Meyer, duh. She was not on my list, but she was like top tier, so she was new for me. Sophie Irwin, A Lady's Guide to Fortune Hunting. She was new. M is for Mama, Abby Halbertstand, or however you say her name. Halbertstand. I can't remember her name. I can't say it very good, but that was a nonfiction read. She was new for me as well. So, then I had The Other Side of Special. This was like a collaboration of 3 authors. I'd never read them before, but they had children with special needs. And it was a nonfiction read, so they were new. Marcus Brotherton and Tosca Lee. Both of them, The Long March Home. They were both new for me as well. And then Love and Gelato, Jenna Evans Welch. She's new for me. I don't think I'm going to read any of her new stuff because it looked really weird. But Love and Gelato, I do want to finish the series. So, then we've got Patricia Bradley, Counterattack. She's new. Absolutely loved it. So I cannot wait for book 2. It's next year. And then you can see I kind of was like, no on this. Tracy Hall, I was like, nope. And then Misty Beller, Rocky Mountain Rendezvous, Karen Whitmire, Fairest of Heart, they were new. And Rachel Houck, I think that's my first Rachel Houck book, The Best Summer of Our Lives. She was new as well. So lots of new authors this year, you guys. Let's see. The Hunter of the Valley of Death by Brennan K. McPherson. Yeah, this was a biblical fiction. He was new for me. Mary Keneally, Forged in Love. She was new for me. I read the whole series this year, so that's great. And then some of the, like the August Bride, Deborah Clip, whatever these were, the Bride series, Summer Brides I was doing. Those were new for me as well, those novellas. Other Bennett Sister, I read that in July, so now we're at July reads here. And Janice Hadlow, she was new. I love that. Great story about Mary. The Circus Train, Amita Parikh. I think I'm saying it right. I don't know. Lucy Connolly, An American in Scotland. And then those were new. This was a new author for me, but I don't know if I want to read her. She was kind of average Regency reads, but some of y'all might like these clean Regency reads, but I was bored by the end of it. So Jen Gaggle Johnson, yeah, maybe it was just a series. So I might pick her up again someday, but not really high up on my list. All right, so then we've got Friendship. Savannah Scott, she was new. That is a rom-com, clean rom-com. Then we got Sally Hepworth, The Good Sister. She was new. The Choices She Made by Felicia Ferguson. She was new. Jenny Proctor was new. How to Kiss Your Best Friend. Rebecca Belliston, Heart of Red, Blood of Blue. She was new. And Voskamp, she was new. Her nonfiction read as well. Then we've got, which sorry if you can't see all this. I'm just now noticing y'all can't see very good, but my bad. I need to move this down. Y'all. I'm not doing very good. Sorry. Anyway, I'm doing some commentary at least. Miss St. Clair was new for me in September. Just Don't Fall. Mandy Blake. New favorite author. Love it. The great Western romances. We love to see it. Grace Hitchcock, My Dear Miss Dupree. Enjoyed that. Need to continue on in the series. And then The Fake Out by Sharon Peterson. Is it Peterson? I think that's right. Sorry if that's wrong. But she writes rom-coms. I'd like to read more of hers to see what I think in the future. And then DNF, Tolly Varney, and Jennifer Peel. They weren't for me. So those would have been new if I'd have finished it. Now, I haven't put November in here yet. We're going to have to go digital on that. But Hosanna Wong, You're More Than You've Been Told. She was new for me. And then the rest of these, oh yeah, Juniper Bean, Resource to Murder. Gracie Ruth Mitchell, she was new. And then Iscariot Tosca Lee, which I already read Tosca Lee's, like, collaboration with Marcus Brotherton. But this was the first, like, just her book that I read. So, all right. Now, let me get to my iPad so I can kind of throw in November here. You can see this without it being a glare. So for November, I haven't printed this out yet, but Stephanie Lands, and there she is. Let's see. Mary Kay Andrews was new for me, The Santa Suit. Stuart Turton, For the 7.5 Deaths was new. And then Becca Kinzer was new as well. And Charles Spurgeon was new. And Felisa Masonheimer was new. That's what I've got so far. Let me get back here. Let's talk about 2024. I know that was very lengthy, but we here. So I'll probably try to cut some of it out because I talked too much. But we're going to talk really quick. I'm going to do a quick rundown of the new authors and the books I own by them that I want to read this year. So, fast as fast can be. I could do a whole separate video on this, but we ain't going to do that. So, Rules of Murder, Juliana Deering, okay? Mystery, Christian Mystery. And I've got Tracy Peterson and Kimberly Woodhouse. They have some books that are collaborative together that I want to read. And so I've got two that I currently own, Forever Hidden and The Heart's Choice. So both of these are on my shelves. Again, the reason I do this is so I can say, okay, I own these books. The goal is to read 50 off my shelves this year. That's why we're doing this. So then just Tracy Peterson. I've got Remember Me, this is book 1 in Pictures of the Heart series, okay? And then I've got Jocelyn Green. I have this whole trilogy. Again, another trilogy I own, ain't read it. So, love the spines, love the covers we hear. Book 1 is Veiled in Smoke, so I plan to at least start it this year. So, yeah, I'm committing. I'm committing, you guys. So, Aaron Bartels, okay? Everything is just beginning. I want to see if I would like this author or not. I bought this book sometime this year on sale when it was like $4 or $5. So, of course, Jeanette Oak. Okay, I've got Love Comes Softly and Wind Calls the Heart. So which one of these do you read? I don't even know if there's an order or what. But is it Love Comes Softly first? I think maybe. I don't know. Anyway, these are older copies. Look how fun these covers are. I got these thrifting, so we love to see that too. All right, and then Charles Martin had the whole series, another trilogy I own. What? Okay, so I don't even know the order of this is. Again, why are they not putting series numbers on the spines? I don't know. So, the Water Keeper, the Letter Keeper, and the Record Keeper. Is this book 1? Water Keeper? Okay, anyway. I got these. I need to read Charles Martin. Ain't never read Charles Martin, okay? Very emotional, but I want to read it. So, then I've got Kara Isaac, okay? Then there was you, and One Thing I Knew. Heard she's a great Christian romance author. We hear. So, we'll be reading it. And then, Haley Bridgman, Honor Bound. I actually own this whole trilogy, so another romantic suspense author to get to. Then we got Carrie Taransky, okay, The Legacy of Longdale Manor. This is a recent release. And then Across the Blue. Heard this is really great as well from some friends. So, yeah, those are on my list, okay. Well, Hannah Linder is also an author on my list. I've been seeing her around for a while. Really want to read her. She writes historical romance. I'm here for this. So, love this. Garden of the Midnights. Look at this cover. I've been seeing her books around, y'all. I've got some of her on my Kindle as well. All right, next we've got Angela Ruth Strong. Husband Auditions will be first. So, and then I own a Hero Debut. So, yeah, I love these covers. Cute Christian romance, okay? I need to know. I've heard great things. Great things, y'all. All right. Heather Kaufman, The Story People. I've heard nothing but good things, okay? Nothing but good things. And I just remembered another author. Hold on. Aaron Mangum, Sketchy Behavior. I own this. I've never read Aaron Mangum's books. But just like The Story People, this is also a book that Lindsay from Books for Christian Girls has talked about. So, yeah, I want to read Aaron Mangum at some point. Amanda Cox. I have The Secret Keepers of Old Grocery Depot. So, I think this one, I'm pretty sure this won a Christie Award for like Book of the Year last year, maybe. I think so. Then we've got Amy Harmon. Okay, this is the year a lot of people start talking about Amy Harmon, and I own 3 of her books. Okay, Amazon sale. What? So I've got What the Wind Knows. Actually, this is not a Christian novel, am I saying? So all of these are Christian except maybe like 2 of these. So they've all been Christian so far. I'm pretty sure. Ooh, sorry if I forgot. Okay, anyway. But What the Wind Knows, A Girl Called Samson, and Where the Lost Wander. So I've heard though that they're definitely cleaned from what I've understood. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I've heard that. Okay, I especially have heard A Girl Called Samson is wonderful. So yeah, if I read any of these, it will be A Girl Called Samson next year. So on the list is Melissa Coslin, Dangerous Beauty, Christian romantic suspense. Need to know. It deals with trafficking and stuff. And then Susie Finkbeiner, The Stories That Bind Us. It's the only one I own by her. I've never read anything by her, but I don't know if it's like general contemporary, kind of gives up that vibe, but I haven't read the synopsis. So, yeah, Susie Finkbeiner. Need to read her. Then I've got Patty Callahan. I already talked about this in like one of my book tags. So, don't it just look like the perfect winter read? It's like Narnia inspired. So, yes, ma'am. Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. You already know. Kimberly Woodhouse, A Deep Divide. I own this. It's book 1 in a series. So, need to read it. And then Rachel Scott McDaniel, y'all, in Spotlight and Shadow, and The Scarlet Spy. So I've been hearing nothing but good things about this author. Again, a great historical romance author, they say. So I want to read her. I don't know which one I would pick first. If you've read both of these, let me know which one. You know it? That's it. What? That is it, y'all. This video, I've been filming for an hour. That is it for the new authors I wanted to read in 2023. The additional new authors that I read in 2023 that were not on the original list, and the new authors I want to read in 2024. That was a mouthful. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've read any of these authors, your thoughts. Know the drill. Let's chat below. All the good things. And I'll see y'all tomorrow for day 15. Bye, y'all.